This video is sponsored by DisabilityQuotes.com. They have been helping residents and also practicing physicians find the right type of disability insurance for the past 20 years. This is a type of insurance that ensures that your income continues in the event that you cannot continue practicing medicine. It's important. So important that I personally have disability insurance. Click on the link below in the description for a free quote from them today. What's up, everyone? This is Dr. Webb here. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe. New videos come in every week. You don't want to miss these videos. Today, I have a very special guest. She's going to tell us all about the field of telemedicine, why she went into it, and about her company and some tips for you guys. Dr. Rowe, thank you for watching me today, joining me today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Dr. Webb. It's a pleasure to be on your channel.
Awesome. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everyone who you are.
Awesome. So I am a family medicine physician practicing here in Houston, Texas, and I am the founder of Rowe Docs, a telemedicine network. We're actually a global network. We operate in 5 countries in 30 states here in the United States. We have 60 physicians, all different types of specialties, from primary care to surgeons to pediatricians, OB-GYN. And really our goal as a company is to give patients access to health care wherever they need it, whenever they need it.
Okay. You mentioned you're a family medicine physician. How did you get into telemedicine?
You know, it's very interesting because, they give millennials like a bad rap sometimes. Oh, we're lazy on social media, yada, yada, yada. And honestly, my first job out of fellowship, I got an MBA after residency. I was working in a very slow urgent care. It was just opening. Some days we only had like 2 to 5 patients, quickly ramped up. But during that time, I would spend a lot of time on social media. So that's like a boss's nightmare, right? You're paying someone, especially a doctor's salary, to play on social media all day. But what else would you do? Well, I got really active, spent a lot of time doing health education. So it was purposeful time spent on social media. But I started to get inbox messages like, hey, I'm depressed. Hey, I'm constipated. Hey, I have this rash,
Yeah.
And me having an MBA, I immediately went into business plan mode, because what we learned, excuse my puppy, what we learn in business school is to create a business, find a problem, and then create the solution. So the problem I saw at that time was that I was more accessible than their actually primary care physician. So I wanted to create a solution to that. And literally, I just started Googling, doctor online, seeing patients online. And I stumbled across telemedicine, but I stumbled across it at the right time.
Gotcha. And for the people who don't know what telemedicine is, can you briefly explain, what is telemedicine?
Absolutely. So, I almost wish the word telemedicine didn't exist, because it creates this unnecessary fear about what telemedicine is. And telemedicine is simply seeing a doctor through your phone, and that can be a phone call or a video call. At our company, we only do video calls, but a phone call will also be considered telemedicine. And so it's a great way to see a doctor without ever leaving your home. But people hear that word and they're like, oh, that's new. I don't want to do anything new. I'm like, you FaceTime, it's not that new, It really is FaceTime with the extra layer of security and protection to protect your privacy as a patient.
Okay. And as a family medicine physician, do you spend some time seeing patients actually in the office and then the rest of your time through telemedicine? Is that how your schedule kind of works?
Absolutely. So, being primary care, I, of course, do physicals. I still see patients for well-woman exams, and those aren't things I can do virtually. But my follow-ups, diabetes management, high blood pressure management, birth control refills, urgent things like a cold, stomach virus, UTI, pretty much any non-emergency, and anything that does not require a controlled substance, I can do via telemedicine.
Okay. And what specialties can participate in telemedicine? Is it only available to certain specialties?
That's like the number one question I get from doctors. And honestly, there's not a single specialty I can think of where telemedicine wouldn't have a role. And the reason is, before you have any procedure or any thing done with a doctor, short of an emergency, you need to talk to them. You need to find out, like, what are the risks? What are the benefits? Is this the right procedure for me? So whether a surgical specialty or non-surgical specialty, if your job involves talking to patients, then there's a role. And maybe you may say, well, I'm a pathologist, but guess what? People want second opinions on their pathology results. We have anesthesiologists that are a part of our group. So I cannot think of a single specialty where it would not apply, but I will say where I see the biggest areas of opportunity and need would be like OB-GYN, pediatrics, family medicine, internal medicine, a lot of emergency medicine for those non-emergent issues. And where we don't see it, but there is a need, is oncology, because cancer patients, being able to not have to commute to the best specialist, telemedicine can really make a big difference.
Absolutely, especially like you said, trying to get a second opinion. If someone didn't want to drive down to Houston to go to MD Anderson, there's someone there that can actually review their chart and meet with them face to face. That's incredible.
Yeah.
What is a typical day for you? Kind of starts at what time and ends at what time? How do your days usually look?
So, I never really lost that passion for social media. So sometimes I'll get like text messages like, what are you doing? Are you working?
Yeah.
So that's a great question that you ask. I have a son, 7-year-old. So I'm juggling being the CEO of this company with being a mom. And so my days are really busy. Get up pretty early, work out. Doctors, we should practice what we preach. And then the majority of my time is actually in administration. I do see patients. I have my own patient panel. I think about 3,000 patients now, but primarily my role is helping other doctors to do what I've spent the past 3 to 4 years doing, which is building an online practice. So that is everything from answering emails, having phone calls, doing meetings, virtual meetings, doing virtual demonstrations of the software. I may see a patient or two in between those meetings and calls. And then, by the time I look up, it's 7 p.m. and it's time to get home to the little one.
Gotcha. And speaking about your MBA, I even thought about this, getting the MBA with the MD. I probably already know the answer to this, but do you think it was beneficial and financially worth it to obtain your MBA?
So I like to spend other people's money.
Yeah.
Me will tell you that. So I did not pay for my MBA. Okay. I actually did a fellowship where my MBA was included as a part of my residency. So I would say to any students or residents, look for programs, fellowships, grants where you can get extra certifications or degrees without paying for it. Wow. Do I think that the MBA was worth it? 100%. Okay. But not for the reason most people think it is, right? The struggle that we face as physicians is that we lack business confidence. So prior to getting an MBA, I would not have had the balls to go out and start a company because I thought of myself as just a doctor and hey, I don't know what to do or how to start a company. I didn't even think I would start a healthcare company, but going through those classes made me see, you know what? Like I have been in a position where life and death is in my hands. I can balance a profit and loss statement. I can do this. And so when doctors ask, should I get an MBA? I almost always say by default, no. You've already spent too much time in school as it is. What you need to do is have the guts to take a risk, take the money that you have, invest it, and hire people to do the things that you don't know, and take enough online classes that they aren't wasting your money and you don't know that they're wasting it, right? And that does not require 2 to 3 years in a classroom.
Yeah, that's a good point, because some specialties, if you're making $500,000 a year, that's $1.5 million. That's, you do a 3-year program. So that's pretty good advice. If someone wanted to be a telemedicine physician, I know you have to have your MD and have to have your board certification. What is the process after that?
Actually, I want to dispel some of those myths. And, we as physicians go through a lot, especially when it comes to things like the board certification. And I've actually come across quite a few doctors who are experienced, talented, and for whatever reason, poor test takers, other things like that, they may not have that board certification. So it's not actually a requirement. And I don't think it should be for doctors if, you have PAs and NPs who have a great role, but they don't take our boards. But you do need to be a doctor to be a part of our program. And we consider every doctor on a case by case. Now, if you want to be a telemedicine doctor, the first thing I would recommend is to go to our website, which is rowedocs.com. Now, chances are, if you're a physician and you're on LinkedIn or any type of social platform, a telemedicine company has already found you, right? And they're sending you an email. We have a great investment opportunity. Invest in us. Or we have so many patients, all you have to do is review these labs and we'll give you $20 per lab that you review. I will caution any physician for working for anyone that tells you all you have to do is this. Whatever that this is, because you spent 12 years of your life in school, right? Minimum, between undergrad, medical school, residency. And then now you're going to sign off on things for people who you've never seen and don't know. So if there's one error, that person doesn't know you from Adam. They will not hesitate to sue you. And you only have yourself to blame for letting yourself be used to build someone else's company, right? If you're going to work for a telemedicine company, it doesn't have to be my company, but work for a company that is physician owned and physician managed, people who respect your degree. And don't sell yourself cheap to do telemedicine. There are doctors out there working for $23 per patient. And I don't want other physicians coming after me to believe that that's acceptable and that's our worth. If you're going to work for that, you should just go and show up at an office every day. But there's no reason for someone with your level of training to make less money than I pay my personal assistant. That's crazy, right? So number 2, I would say, if you're going to do it, get what you're worth. The crazy part is there are laws that say physicians must be reimbursed the same amount as an office visit. So from a business perspective, here's a law telling me that you have to get $150, but you're accepting $23 from someone to do the job. So where do you think the other $127 went? To their pocket, which is why you're looking at their stocks climbing and climbing and climbing, which is great for them. I respect them as a business, but I don't want you as my colleague to be in that situation where you're being taken advantage of. The third thing I would say is, figure out what you're passionate about. Don't just do this to do this. Think about evidence-based medicine and think about what is it that, I really enjoy doing. And create that opportunity. Utilize telemedicine to create that opportunity within medicine for you. And my job is to help you figure that out and create that opportunity for you.
Okay, awesome. Tell us about some of the things you have going on or upcoming in the next couple of months or next year.
So one of the biggest things that we have coming up, every year I do a telemedicine conference. It's called the Virtual Physician Summit. This is the 3rd year that we're doing it. And this year we're going to do it in Atlanta. Registration is now open, virtualphysiciansummit.com. So if you are interested in telemedicine, it is actually the only conference in the nation about telemedicine exclusively for physicians. Wow. Everything else is for everyone else, or business people, or app developers, or health institutions. This is just for doctors. In addition to that, the same weekend, we're doing a business conference. So the business conference is on Friday and the telemedicine conference is on Saturday. And that information you'll be able to find on my Facebook page, on my Instagram page, which is Tisha Rowe MD. So 2 excellent opportunities for physicians to learn about business and telemedicine.
Okay, and I'll put links to those in the description.
Awesome.
Where do you see Rowe Docs in 10 years from now?
So, I'm big at putting my goals out there. I know a lot of people are afraid to do that. Like, oh, if I don't reach it, if I fail, people will know that I was going to do that. So absolutely, I believe we'll be a global company making an impact on not just the United States, but on the world. Valuation will be at least $1 billion and probably going to be acquired by Apple.
That's incredible. I always ask my guests 3 last questions. You can give a 1 and 2 word answer. What is your favorite thing to do outside of medicine?
So the PG answers, running, traveling, reading books.
Yeah. Okay.
I love to do, but honestly, I love, people that know me know that I love to, be amongst my friends. I'm always either out with my friends or, having fun with my friends. I like to have fun. I think life is too short to not have fun. So, my patients will see me out. They're like, that's my doctor.
What is your favorite food?
I'm Jamaican, so it would have to be, it's the equivalent of Louisiana red beans and rice, but we call it soupies.
Soupies?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't think I had that before. I might have to check that out.
It's good. I'm actually, I do a lot of things outside of medicine. So I'm hosting a cooking class in Houston this Sunday, and I can't cook. My mom's coming to teach us how to make these dishes.
Dr. Rowe, I'm sitting here wondering, when do you sleep? Because you have a lot of
man.
But, that's incredible. Congrats on all your success. You're really inspiration to all of us up-and-coming physicians and new attending staff physicians. Just want to say congratulations to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep, you're welcome. And if anybody else wanted to get in touch with you, learn more about your business, learn more about your summit, can you mention your links and websites again?
Awesome. So my company site is www.rowedocs, ROWEDOCS.com. And that stands for Reliable Online Wellness Experience, the Rowe. And then my personal, I mentioned just a few moments ago, but Tisha Rowe, ROWE, my last name, MD, is all of my social media handlers. That includes Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Awesome. Dr. Rowe, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. And I will put links to all of that in the description.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Great show. And I look forward to watching your future episodes.
Yeah, you're welcome. For everyone else, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe. New videos coming every week. You don't want to miss them. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.